I'm Joe Bob Briggs, and tonight we have Nightbreed from the king of gooey crud, Clive Barker. But before you ogle all the pus monsters in that one, you get to watch our first movie. It's a guy talking to his dancing cockroaches in Joe's apartment. And speaking of dinner at my house, I have a question. Why is it that when people invite you to dinner parties these days, everybody there is the same age? D-U-L-L. Can you spell that? Sometime in the last 30 years, we've gotten into this pattern of only associating with people our own age. Whatever happened to the idea of hanging out with people you have nothing in common with? Because first of all, what's the number one thing that's guaranteed to juice up a dinner party? An argument, right? Yeah. That's why if you're going to invite liberals, you also need to invite conservatives, preferably ultra-conservatives. And if you're going to have painters and dancers and actors over, you need to throw in a few stockbrokers and neurosurgeons. Yeah. And if the party starts filling up with single people, you should toss in a few old married couples, because we're stirring up a cauldron here. We're juicing it with spices that don't go together. We're giving people something to talk about in the car on the way home. Yeah. But instead of that, we've got all these major institutions, like, for example, churches. They divide people up into 20s Bible study, 30s Bible study, married people Bible study, singles Bible study. So you end up with all these look-alike, sound-alike, went to the same school, have the same politics, listen to the same music, zombie enclaves, right? We got things like the Black Journalists Association. Could you narrow that down just a little more? You know, the Encino Self-Made Plumbers Guild, the Temple of Hairy-Legged Women, you know, women with a Y. We've divided ourselves up into so many little groups that it's possible to live your whole life without ever coming into contact with somebody who thinks you're full of bull. I think it's fun when somebody thinks I'm full of bull. If it's a woman, I might fall in love with her. Who knows? You know, if it's a man, I might become friends with the guy. Because there's something about that friction thing, you know, between two people who know what they think and they won't back off from it one iota that results in, I don't know, some kind of Hillary Clinton thing, like community, you know, or respect for each other, lasting connections, whatever you call it. It's very American, and it's dying out. Yeah. That's all I have to say. All right, it's time for Joe's Apartment, the 1996 flick made by MTV about this slob from Iowa who moves into a tenement building in New York City and manages to make it even more disgusting than it already is. The good news is that his cockroaches love him for it, and so they do all kinds of barbershop quartets and Busby Berkeley numbers for him and even help him out with his love life. You know what? It just may be the greatest cockroach musical ever filmed in the East Village. Yeah. So let's do the drive-in totals at the next break, but check it out, and I'll be here to supplement the flick with a few cockroach facts, among other things. Okay, here's one fact. Here's one fact to get you started. The word cockroach is a corruption of the Spanish word cucaracha, which is familiar to us all, of course, from the Mexican hat dance, right? La cucaracha, which is one of the most important cross-cultural contributions to American-Mexican relations in the history of those two great nations, in my opinion. La cucaracha, a bridge between cultures, a symbol of international understanding. Male form would be El Cockroach.